Hi, and welcome back to another episode of You're in Charge. Now what? I'm your host, Glenn Pasch. And the goal of this channel is to help those of you that find yourself now in charge of a business, a team, or a project build the skills necessary to lead high-performing teams or just generate the consistent results you need to be successful. Each week, we're going to focus just on one topic. I'm going to share some tips and strategies that have helped me build my businesses so that you can gain that success, apply these tactics, and generate new results faster and easier. If you're new to the channel, I'd love you to click subscribe. This week, you get notified every week when I post out a new video. Also, leave your comments down below. I'd like to hear what you're thinking of this episode, or if there's topics you'd like me to discuss, please just post it down there, and then I'll do what I can to either answer the question myself, or I'll go out and find an industry expert and we'll interview them and see if we can help you become more successful. So without further ado, let's dive into today's episode. Well, this is probably going to air somewhere around the Thanksgiving holiday. This has been a very strange year for everyone with COVID and lockdown, and there has been some positive things that have come out of this. There has been some negative things. People have lost loved ones. People have been sick. People have lost their jobs. And on the flip side, there have been some really positive things. For me personally, not having to travel and being able to be home with my family, I am lucky and blessed that I can have my team work remotely. And part of what today's episode is about is that thought of gratitude. I don't think we talk about gratitude enough. In business, we are constantly driven to achieve more. We focus a lot on what we don't have versus what we do have. I know even myself, I get caught up sometimes looking at other businesses and not being upset for them. I'm happy. I'm generally happy for most people because I want them to be successful. But there is part of, well, I should be doing more. I see they're doing it. Why can't I go do it? So it is that thought of, if they can do it, I can do it. I should be working harder. I can do more. Why am I not? And that's something I've worked through to just say, well, wait a minute. Look at what you have. You have your health. I'm so grateful for my family. My parents, thank God, are, in good health. And, we just had a call with them the other day. I have a good circle of brothers, great nieces, nephews, great circle of friends, well respected in the industry. I have a great team here. I mean, there's so much for me to be grateful for. But it is easy for a lot of us to focus on the negative and what we don't have, or if we're struggling, we blame others for why we're struggling. And I think it's just something for us to take a pause during this time, to just take a moment and say, what are we grateful for? Now, I am not someone, I know there's people out there and they do it every day, and maybe I should do it more, but every morning they get up to just remind themselves of what they're grateful for. I mean, I get up every morning and I'm grateful that I have the ability to help my family, and I have, as I said, have a great team. It's simple things for me. My wife said to me the other day, you are happiest when you're serving others. We had somebody coming over. We had to fix something in our fence and the workers were there. So I'm making coffee for them and bringing it out. And she's laughing because that was important to me at that time. To go out and make sure that they're okay. And that just comes from my nature. I worked in hospitality for years in restaurants. So I like cooking for people. I like serving people. I like helping people. To my wife, we'll say, even to my own, not detriment, but I don't think of myself first. And I think that served me well in business. But again, it is really, really easy for all of us to look at what others have, look at others' achievements, and doubt ourselves and start focusing on the negatives, what we don't have. I wish I had more money. I wish I had this. And the funny thing is, I look at it a little differently. It's easy to look backwards, as they say, hindsight is 20/20. Easy to look backwards and said, if I did this, I would have X. That's like me saying, man, if I had invested in Apple way back into early 2000s, I'd be rich right now. So I run the scenario through my head and say, well, what if you did? What if you took $10,000, $20,000, whatever money you had, put it in Apple. And 10 years later, so 10 years, this is 2020, so 2010, 2014, somewhere in that region, all of a sudden you became a millionaire. What happens if that investment really went? Would you be who you are today? The problem for many, you think you'd be in the same place and you'd just be better off. What happens if you went down the wrong path? What if you didn't have that drive anymore for work? What happens if you went down a wrong path? What happens if you started celebrating too much, taking things for granted, going down the road of drinking or drugs or addictions and all? You could be ending up in a worse place today than if you had done that and gotten rich. I'm not saying you would have, but you wouldn't be where you are today. You are here today because of all those decisions. You should be grateful for the journey, grateful for any obstacles that you had because it made you who you are. And even if you feel that you're in a bad place today, take a moment and just say, I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful to have what I have around you, and try then to look at the positives and just take small steps. I mean, I've been there. I've lost my job. I had a sick child. I just moved into a new house, had all these things, and I just had to, through the support of my wife, say, listen, you got to take baby steps and get back on your feet and get out there, because I knew I had the ability to work. I knew I had my health. I knew, and to me, it didn't matter. I would do anything to generate money. I'd go work anywhere because that's what I would have to do. But I was grateful for the support, grateful. And a lot of times I look back and now I say, I'm grateful for many of those challenges. I would not be where I am. Those lessons that I learned allowed me to be where I am today. So be happy for others. Celebrate other people's successes. When you celebrate other people's successes, it makes you feel good because it unlocks happiness. Be happy for what you have. Don't be envious of other people because you don't really know what their life is. All you're doing is looking at the exterior of what they have. And don't look back and say, oh, if only I had done this, I would have been better off, because you never know. You should be saying to yourself, where do I want to be in a year? Where do I want to be in 2 years? And have that idea of where I want to go and plan and start finding small wins. What do I have to do this week to move me further? I'd rather you get up and focus on where you want to be in terms of a goal in a year and break it down and say, what do I have to do today or this week to move me forward, so that you can build up those wins and be happy about it. Again, ask for help, talk to people. Don't suffer in silence. But this idea of gratitude, even through all of this, compression of, with COVID and lockdowns, there's been so many positive things that I would never have been able to experience this year if things were where they were last year, when I was on the road for about 150,000 miles. And I literally, when I mapped it out, was probably away from my family for almost 5 months of the year. When I added up all the days, 5 months away from my family. And this year I've been able to be with my family. I've been able to spend time with my son with his basketball. I've been able to work with my other son with his Lego projects and art projects. I've been able to spend time with my wife. And yes, it's not ideal because you don't have the ability to travel or see other family, or you have to be more restrictive. But I am so grateful for that. And it also allowed me to slow down and focus on my team and plan for the future. So in a weird way, I'm very grateful for this time. And I'm hoping that we come out of this stronger, more unified, and we're more aware of how fragile everything is in this world. And we should be grateful for everything around us. So please, this Thanksgiving time of year, reach out to people, over-communicate with them, over-communicate to those who have had an impact on you, who you are grateful for. Tell them. They're not mind readers. Reach out to them. So I wish you nothing but success. Have a great Thanksgiving. Have a great end of the year. We will all get through this together. But again, take time to be grateful for what you have. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope this meant something to you. Please share it out. Please subscribe. I appreciate your attention. And as I say at the end of every episode, you're in charge, but now you have another tool to be more successful. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.